IT.
So then I said, well, we're good to go, so we can start.
Oh, all right. Uh, just going to. Are we good to start now?
Yes, we're good to go.
All right. I'm just sharing my screen. Okay, let's go. All right. Hmm. Welcome and thank you for joining today. Uh, I'll be speaking on modernizing IT support and the role of scoreboards and Rovo in the incident management process. As you can see on my screen, the goal of this is to show you how the dev and the IT team is able to collaborate together to be able to give or orchestrate a modernized way of keeping services running, and this relates to key processes like incidents and changes. All right. Going through a very fast or possible journey of modernizing IT support or IT operations rather. We'll be looking at how using GSM we're able to detect and also deflect issues before they even become business impact related issues. And once you're able to do these key initial actions, this enables you to be able to go straight into resolving incidents as soon as possible, thereby giving you some speedy response and possibly some faster recovery from whatever issue you're going through. Then from this, most cases you have to perform some changes, to be able to get this incident resolved. And this is where the adaptive change enablement process of GSM comes in place to be able to aid or mitigate this risk, thereby improving your process and doing all of these actions on just one platform where you're able to manage your work and also visualize this work across different teams, irrespective of whatever role or position you could be. And the goal of all of this first is the fast time to value, because now you're not just working in silos or having a black hole of data. All of these configurations can be done and are adapted for your business needs in short amounts of time. All right, just to give you a quick peek into what we would be demonstrating or looking into in aspects of the modernization of IT operations today. First, we'll be taking a look at dashboards and analytics, trying to see how metrics or key metrics can be reported using the Atlassian platform tools. And this is to aid the team make better decisions. Next, we'll then look into incidents and problem management. We're looking into a day-to-day life for an agent and a customer trying to seek for help, and even seeing how this ties into other processes like problems or services that could relate to this incident. Then next, we'll be looking into the major incident management, trying to see how alerts are being ingested, an incident turning into a major incident, what that means and what functions or possibilities or capabilities rather are available to you using GSM. And then finally, we would wrap this off with some use cases with the adaptive change management possible when raising changes and also putting governance in mind. All right. To give you a quick peek of the solution overview, I've been mentioning GSM, mentioning Atlassian platform. Recently, Atlassian has just done some change to their service or to their catalog or suite of applications, whereby it's now being grouped in collections. And you can see the service, software, teamwork, and other collections that Atlassian now offers as products. We'll be focusing on working closely with the service collection today. There'll be scenarios whereby work relates with other teams where I would get to see or show you what this could also look like around development. But in addition to just the apps that have now been classified or grouped as collections, you also can see that you get to have agents that are available to support you with the availability and use of Rovo. Deep down, there are also skills that have been configured, and you could also configure to improve how you interact and work with the AI or Rovo application. And all of this is encompassed under the Atlassian platform. All right. To then show you what makes all of this pop and connect, the Rovo application and AI is strongly related and connected to the teamwork graph, which makes every action or object linkable inside the Atlassian platform. So first, the all collections are connected to the platform, as well as the platform apps that you can see at the top here in this diagram that I'm showing to you. And this enables you to be able to still get all the functionalities of the applications, as well as some further enterprise grade infrastructure or possible capabilities like security, compliance, performance, as well as scale for some large or enterprise customers. All right, let's go into it. We'll be starting with the reporting manager experience, sort of looking into how all of this come into place, not just going into the fire or the firefighting, because as an executive, this is what you want to sort of see and have the grasp before you even relate to your engineers. All right. So looking into reports, first for every GSM space, you're able to get some in space or granular reports that your day-to-day agents can make use of. This could be custom, and apart from that, you're also able to configure some um, default or custom metrics yourself. Looking into this, you would also see that there's possibility of adjusting these reports by different timelines, and just going to pick another one where we have the time to resolution. SLA metrics, trying to be able to tell how long it takes to, you know, the mean time to response, the mean time to resolution, checking all of these metrics and ensuring that the team on ground knows how they are doing in whatever timeline you might want to track this as. All right. Apart from that, we have the possibility of having dashboard setup. And as you can see, this looks a little bit more different, whereby you could have information not just from one space, but from multiple spaces, even though this is just configured for the IT ops team to be able to see key metrics around the created versus resolved, change risk, and even the change calendar, just to be able to know when certain changes have been scheduled and there could be conflicts. It's also possible to have some of those space reports I just showed you now appear or usable on the dashboards, just in case you wanted to have these visible to other teams that are not allowed or accessible to your project or space rather. Okay. So yeah, what we're looking at right now is analytics. And with analytics, this is currently available to the enterprise customers of Atlassian. With this, you're able to get some more detailed information, also giving you the opportunity to be able to create charts on your own, sort of get some SLA metrics, and also start to even make use of Rovo to get insights on some of these reports so that you're not just seeing data, but you can instantly start to make better decisions for your team. Uh, just going to show you what this could also look like for another template. So this is the change management. It's still trying to load up. All right, we could see some counts here going on for changes, as well as bar charts or different charts to be able to show what key metrics around types, change risk, and change lead time looks like for this particular change or change team, as you might call it. All right, so going to see that all of this is not just pulling information from just a particular space or just a particular tool. We can now see that the tool is able to pull information from different spaces and from different processes all into one space that you could give whoever or whatever role an overview of what is going on or how progress is going on with the firefighting. Now we're going to move on to see how this sort of goes through like a journey to see how it comes about seeing all of those information on those dashboards. All right. So I'm currently on the help desk, and for a regular day for one of our customers, which Steve, he has issues, trying to log into a critical service, which could be, making use of the VPN for the email application. And first is prompted to be able to, one of the mediums available to raise requests with the GSM application is using the help center or the portal, as you can see right now. Apart from that, we also have other options like email available. We also have live chats now with the new changes that Atlassian has done. And apart from that, we could have this set up as a widget in probably your website or wherever you want this externally. But going into this, the first or one of the better options is to be able to get to the help center. Given that this is not just like a forgotten email chain of trying to raise a request. First, the customer is able to see or go through knowledge articles that might help or resolve their scenarios or intents. And if that's not the case, they could also ask questions from the AI bot. So let's say just trying to use the VPN to get to the billing application. I can't have issues. All right, so once I give that to the chatbot, it's going to go through the knowledge base or whatever knowledge has been connected to it to respond to the customer. And you can see that it's not just providing links, but also returning this as messages that could help the customer to easily raise the request. And if not, they're also prompted to the right request or to the right form where they could raise this request. All right. Now going into the request or possible request that could be raised. And this sometimes helps just because you might want to be able to make use of forms to collect more detailed information from the customer. And you can see how these forms are dynamic, whereby you could see information relating to the customers and even help access or get information from assets just to better prepare or assist the agents when they get this request with enough information to resolve the request. All right, I'm going to just select something related to the issue that Steve is going on. We all know it's not a login issue. All right. I'm just going to pick emails. Okay. And that's because I've selected that radio button. You could see what it's also given, or the prompts return to the customer. Messages don't get sent, and then I'm just going to send that in. Now, the moment I try to also put in text, you would have noticed that the suggested articles are also coming up. And this is just also to aid or to support the customer if peradventure they've not seen a knowledge base article that could support. Just queue. Okay. Yeah. Once the request is raised, they're still able to also make actions like add comments, update statuses if they're given permissions to. And we're just going to look at this, or look at what this looks like for the agent. All right, our ticket's been created. The form has been created. I'm looking through, just going to refresh. All right, that's taken a bit. Looking through, our ticket has been created and we can see some access level information being populated. Uh, we're just going to leave this for now and then come back to this for a similar use case for us to show how this could also relate to a major incident. All right, so I'm just going to fast track this and then close to resolve. Okay, and then we'll just go back to the portal. All right. Now we've seen how some scenarios could be created just for Steve. Then we're going to move into how this could also be like a major incident where we have alerts integrated or we have alerts involved, and also getting critical critical services linked or mapped to this incident so that it's better, or there's better visibility for the CMDB team as well as the change team. All right, so I'm going to go back to Jira. All right. For the on-call team and for most of the ops team, which they have to deal with a lot or the operation side of work, the first place to be able to get more information is coming to the For You section. Because from here, you're not just getting access to seeing recommended information or assigned or sort of filtered information just in the Jira aspects. You're also now able to see information that relates to the upside, whether you're an on-call or you have alerts that are meant for you to attend to. But if that's not the case, you can definitely navigate to the up section from the left panel, where you get to see all the teams you are on, and from there also being able to raise alerts, or being able to view alerts rather. Right now, these alerts are intelligently grouped and also possible for classification by Rovo. Looking at some of this, we're going to look into how this could be easily recreated into an incident without having to manually copy over things. All right. So just looking at the sample alerts, we can see some details about it, like the description, some tags around what service was brought in, what service are affected in relation to where this incident was created from. To easily create an incident from this, the team can just click on that button. And what it does is that it allows you to, just because the alert is now linked to that incident, it allows you to automatically pick up information from that linked alert. So you can see that without having to write stuff, I can just easily input the summary, bring in the description, and probably other necessary information like priority, just to ensure that there is sync of data, and this can then get recreated in the right team ticket or the right team space for them to start to work on this issue. And sometimes this might not be the case. It might actually be a very bigger scenario whereby it needs to actually be handled and needs to be escalated into a major incident. So to push this into a major incident, first suggestions are available to support the customer, and this is running from the Rovo agent, which is in depth, is put in depth into different kinds of requests. So for incidents, you will get to be able to make use of the Rovo ops, which works as your suggestions. You're also able to accelerate the resolution of the incidents from the Rovo ops bar from here, where you can summarize this incident, get get familiar incidents, find familiar incidents around or particular to this one we've just recreated. I'm just trying to get it to do some more summary. Yeah, you can see that the agent is able to go into the ticket and do some detailed summary for you. And we'll then transition this to a major incident and see what that looks like. All right, to transition this to a major incident, we've just you just need to trigger a button, and this could also be set up by automation for known requests that you might have in your request catalog. Apart from that, you'd see that for linked alerts, we are able to also get a good view. It's still loading. Yeah, we're able to get a good view of the alerts that are linked to the request. And apart from that, we could also have this synced or linked to a Slack channel where further investigations could be done by a team to resolve this incident. So just to show you what that would look like, I'm just going to try to open Slack. All right. And you see that the moment that Slack channel was created, a new channel with information about that incident has also been created. Um, This allows you to be able to make updates back to the tickets directly from Slack. So you don't even need to stay, or you don't need to go to Jira to make updates back to the tickets or inform stakeholders about what is going on. So just in case anybody's late to the party, they can still come over to Slack to get responses or summarize the incident and actually get or be updated with what is going on, depending on whatever time or role they are playing in this incident. All right, we're just going to go back to Jira, then try to resolve this. All right. Now one other thing that came to mind is key things like post-incident reviews. Apart from just making use of Rovo to get summaries, suggest or create problem tickets that could be linked to this particular incident, you can also get it to write, the post-incident review for you. So if I was to tell you to write this PIR, actually, there's also a button for it there. I just realized. Okay. So yeah, you could sort of converse with the agent itself, and you can also like click on buttons available to easily get this incident reviews created and documented for you without even having to sort of do a lot than just review and confirm that this information is correct. And that's how you can easily get from not having time to do persistent reviews to just having it done faster and better for every incident you have. All right. Okay. Now we're going to look into change management. And for this, I would start the process from an actual incident. And because most times changes result from either a customer request or the need from some incident. So I'm going to stimulate that from an incident, and then we're going to see how these changes could be raised on the portal as well as deployment gating. All right, so we're going to go back to the portal, then go to the operations portal. All right, so say for example, Steve still has issues, after trying or getting solutions for the VPN, he still can't access the billing app itself right now. So trying to since okay. Then we're going to pick the service. So I'm going to pick billing. And then sort of put in some information for how big an impact is and how urgently should be fixed. Then we send this in. All right. Um, Okay. Now that a request is created, as a proper incident request, first, the services linked are actually asset objects, enabling you to now automatically, as an agent, see that this service has other incidents open on it. And this gives you like a context that, oh, there's probably going to be problem tickets needed or even one created already. As mentioned, the AI is available to support in finding, similar incidents to this. We could also get to see some related resources that might help, as well as playbooks that could help or aid the agents to resolve these issues. All right. Apart from that, we're going to make use of this to, work on the resolution of this incident. And given that sometimes this needs to be done by a different team, we're going to link this to our mobile development team to look into what is going on. So I'm going to link work items and create a new one to it. All right. Then I would create that from here. All right, we can now see our development tickets linked to this automatically. Now what I'm going to do is I would go into Bitbucket just to show you how deployment gating could work to aid this change that needs to be done to upgrade this application. All right, so going back to Bitbucket. Okay, it's taking too long. Let me do a refresh. Uh, send this to me. Okay, I'm just going to try to activate this. Apologies for that. I'm going to share my screen back now. All right. Yes. Yeah, so here's our repository for tests. I would use the Billy one to make some commits. All right. So let's imagine that to resolve this issue, oh, actually, let me just make sure use of the mobile one. There's no difference, yeah. But since we're having these logs under the mobile, yeah. Okay, so we're going to make use of the mobile repository. And let's just say, for example, to resolve this case, what needs to be done is to just add this to the code base, even though that's not the truth, but we'll use that for an example today. And I'm going to copy the or make use of the mobile app. Okay, yeah, I'm going to make use of the issue key. Sorry, it's now called item key. Of the item key that we've just used to create our issue scenario and or to track the development work for this upgrade. Okay, now I'm lost. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, and then we'll add this comment to the system. Yeah. Now that I've done that, I'm currently using pipelines to test this. So we can now see that our um, build is in progress. The pipelines are now running. And as configured, this could be different for you, but at the staging and production stage, we want to get change requests to ensure that checks are done and also approved, that this change request actually approved before they are deployed to this environment. So this is going to sort of start to run and then push this to each stage. And now that you see that it's in the staging stage, it's now created a change request. And until that request is approved, before this would be able to go to the next um, stage. All right, so I'm just going to show you that and also do some approval actions. All right, so now we can see our change request automatically created. Sometimes this is what takes days for the engineers to do or to just sort of come back to Jira to come and create. But now you have the system intelligently creating this for you. And all you need to do is just to approve. In fact, the right service is also linked to it. So and you're also able to get some AI risk assessments for your changes, ensuring that this change meets the expected or required standard before you even proceed to start to make changes to this. All right. Some information about the deployment was also brought into the change ticket, and you can see that it's also linked to the development ticket, thereby showing links and making sure that things are available for everybody to use. All right. We'll then proceed to approve this. Yeah, even the approvals are also automatically set based on the team. Now that this is approved, our pipeline deployment should now kickstart and start to run. Okay, yeah, it's now deployed and queued. Now the next stage is for it to deploy to production. We would also expect another change request to be, to be raised for this. Let's see the test results. Okay, yeah, change request has been created. Just going to go back to Jira and refresh. All right. You can now see that the change ticket for production has also now been created. All right. Let me approve this also. Okay. And that should get our pipelines ready. Uh, I was just back here. Okay. Okay, I was going back to Bitbucket. Okay. All right, yeah. Now we can see that our deployment is done and it's successfully completed to production. And that's how you're able to, link the dev team and the IT ops team with almost less effort or no effort, ensuring that tickets are, automatically recreated, updated, and also linked to help support these customers. Now that this is done, we would transition this to closure. All right. And one other key thing just before I leave here. So I've shown some aspects around the service team, and now you can see how this relates to the dev team, even just making use of Jira software. You would see that there's a development side that gives you an overview of the development activities happening on these tickets. And apart from that, you also get to be able to see the development going on per this space. So if you come to development section for the Jira software space, you're able to see informations or key metrics that relates to development. All right, so now we're just going to go back to our IT ticket now that we have been able to resolve the issue. And okay, yeah, I was just going to go back to our IT tickets. Now the issue has been resolved. We can um push this to completion. And just before we do that, we are also able to reply to the customer that this is resolved. So first, automated comments has been set up to inform the agent that, oh, the linked ticket is completed. You're also able to reply directly to stakeholders from here or just reply to the customer. Just tell Rovo to draft a reply. Sometimes you just don't want to deal with writing all of them. Okay. Robots come to the rescue, and we can just from there get something sent to the customer. And all of this is also can be summarized for whoever is coming to pick this up if they have to work on shift, giving enough context of what has been going on and transpiring on this particular ticket. All right, I'm just going to resolve this now and get it to completion. Yeah, that's using the dev team and the IT ops team, in collaboration just to ensure that these services are back up and running as soon as possible. All right. So far. we've been able to see how, we're able to detect or deflect possible issues through alerts or through the ops section. Also getting to resolve incidents that could be created either from alerts or even just directly from the customer portal, and thereby also streamlining this um this incident process by adaptive change processes that has CI/CD integrated with it, all visible and all managed on one single platform without having to move between too many estates of tools or application. And this just doesn't give you, just a tool to solve problems, but even to make better decisions as soon as you can. And that would be it for, showing the role of scoreboards and Rovo in incident management process. I don't know if anyone has any questions for me at this point. No. Okay, I'll take that as no questions. Uh, thank you very much for the time. I'll pass it to you, Lewis.
Thank you for awesome session, Isaac, and hope to see you again soon. And also look forward to seeing you all some other time. And there are no questions. That'll be all from us today. See you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.